Well, we had another one. We had one on Monday, we had one on Friday, there was probably one on Wednesday too that I've totally forgotten about it, but CM Punk could be gone from WWE forever because Drew McIntyre turned up on SmackDown and he essentially killed him. I mean, this was absolutely brilliant. As you would have seen from the thumbnail and probably the title, I don't know what I'm going to call this video at the moment, this is the feud of the year. Even if CM Punk and Drew McIntyre decide to play checkers until December 2024, they have built up so much equity with me that I still go, yeah, but do you remember those first 6 months? Also, checkers is a great game, and they'd probably make it violent checkers. Who doesn't want to see violent checkers? I don't know how we got here. But yes, in case you haven't seen, spoilers are coming, of course. It was DIY and Grayson Waller having an argument because WWE's production loves to cross the streams, as the Ghostbusters once said. When the garage door behind them, well, someone was banging on it like a crazy person. It raised from the acids, and there CM Punk, in his hometown, after he cut a pretty damn good promo with Cody Rhodes, was lying on the floor, bloodied and beaten, and Drew McIntyre was standing over him as if he was Thanos. That's what I said on Ups and Downs. Make sure you go to What Culture right now, click the thing, and subscribe to them, subscribe to me as well. And it was just awesome. It was just great. It's exactly what we should have done because, again, they are embroiled in the most aggressive game of wrestling tennis you've ever seen. And then CM Punk gets put on Drew McIntyre's shoulders. And look, it was the GTS position. I don't know if there's anything sort of poetry to that, but probably not. He walks out in front of the arena, the crowd, so they can see it. He dumps him on the floor, which looked horrible. And then I knew that he took a bracelet off. I've only found out maybe in the last 25 minutes, it was CM Punk's AJ Lee and Larry the Dog bracelet, which is essentially his family. So Drew McIntyre, I mean, it's personal before, and now he's making it super duper whooper personal. Out comes Nick Aldis, out comes the security guards. They shoo Drew McIntyre away. And I can only presume in the real world we've done this because they're not going to be ready to go at SummerSlam. But the fact that WWE came up with this so we don't feel like, man, we're being shortchanged. Why are we getting it in Money in the Bank? And both these guys can just leave now because Drew McIntyre quit, and of course CM Punk is dead, so he needs time to come back. Although Chad Gable got killed, and he did a tweet yesterday saying he's out of the grave, so that's good to know that you can be shot on the head and be totally fine. But, I mean, this probably took up, what, 5 minutes of SmackDown? But because we have put in the, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but we've given it enough story, and we've given it enough time, and we've been patient with it, and we have used a real-life situation, CM Punk's injury, to let it breathe. I just think it's absolutely fabu. I'm sure WWE has already loaded this onto their social media or whatever it may be. Just go and watch it. I mean, it'll mean nothing to you if you haven't been staying up with the product, which you don't have to, by the way. You're allowed to dip your toe in and leave whenever you see fit. But as a nerd who watches absolutely everything, I just can't wait. And when we do get to, again, Hot WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and it is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, I'm going to be sat there, maybe live. I'm going to try and go to SummerSlam this year and just be like, well, who the flub is going to win this? I'm not sure I'll be able to figure it out. And if WWE does have an awesome plan in their pocket, and you have to presume they will do, because again, we've seen what they've done so far, this really could be a talking point for the ages. I mean, there's not actually much more we can talk about because you already know the story. CM Punk screwed over Drew McIntyre in his hometown and even did a promo in his own hometown going, do you remember when I won the title in 2011? I didn't let the pressure get to me, and not only did I crack Drew McIntyre, but I forced him to quit. Now, you can look at it either way. Maybe Drew McIntyre was already planning to murder CM Punk, or maybe he heard all this and he was backstage like, right, that's it. You pushed me too far now. I'm going to put you in the grave. But just fantastic, really cool stuff. And we'll probably get an update over the weekend, maybe come Monday Night Raw, that both these guys have been told to shoo away. And CM Punk got stretched out of there in a local medical wagon, an ambulance. And the reason I like this too is because I don't know what their real feelings are towards each other. I don't know if they like each other, don't like each other, if there's any animosity. I'm sure that Drew McIntyre was a little bit frustrated, not frustrated, but like sad he hurt CM Punk. I'm sure CM Punk was frustrated at him for injuring him, even if they are on the same page. But to take all of that and put it in a ball and to let it manifest on screen, I just think it's awesome. And if WWE has deliberately pivoted away from either of them being the champion because they know this program has enough gravitas to it, I think they are 100% right. And they put it on the right episode of SmackDown too. If you have 2 hours today, watch this episode of SmackDown, right? I thought it was so good. Opening promo with CM Punk. Paul Heyman is there. He's basically he's begging CM Punk, save me, because Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline are about to walk out and kick your butt. They do come out. They are going to kick his butt because, what does CM Punk call them? Like fake-ass Usos and a phony or wannabe tribal chief. Cody Rhodes comes out with a baseball bat because he loves Sting. They chase everybody away. And you think there's going to be more here, but no. CM Punk then gets taken out by Drew. So whatever relationship we were teasing between him and Paul Heyman is now gone again. We're going to have to double back around to that at some point. And later on in the show, Paul Heyman was even saying to Solo, Roman Reigns always said that CM Punk was off limits because he's so personal to me. Well, that's not the case. Then you get to the main event where Cody did challenge Solo Sikoa. It's just a big schmoz, but it makes all the sense in the world because out comes the Tongans. They're beating up Cody. Here's Kevin Owens. Here's Randy Orton. They chase everyone away. And just as they've cornered Solo Sikoa against Tin of the Turnbuckle, Jacob Fatu finally makes his debut. This is how you debut people. I don't know how many people were there last night. Let's say 15,000. It's a random number. I'm sure it was around there. I would go and say that maybe a quarter of people actually know Jacob Fatu. Maybe it's a bit more. Maybe it's a bit less. But it wasn't 100% of people. But after seeing what he did, threw Kevin Owens into Simba the Steel Steps, crashed Randy Orton through barricade, who did not want to break, and then did the big old splash onto Cody Rhodes from atop a Teen of the Turnbuckle through Alan the announce table, wrestling friends for life. You know this guy's a badass. And when you did see Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa just walking off, I was like, this Bloodline 2.0 is absolutely fantastic. And there's this idea out there that, oh man, Jacob Fatu is so good, he's going to overshadow Solo Sikoa. One, good. I want all wrestlers to try and do that, and I want all the other wrestlers to try and up their game. It makes for better TV. Also, two, Triple H and Co are booking the show. Just book them in the position that you want to. If Jacob Fatu had come out there and sat in the ring and gone and sucked his thumb, nobody would be going, well, yeah, outshone Solo Sikoa. Maybe we want that to happen. I think Solo's doing a great job. I don't understand where the negativity comes from. Not saying you can't have that negativity, more power to you. But when I hear these sort of swells of discussion, I always try and put myself in the middle of it because I want to hear both sides. I don't get it. I don't understand. I think this whole new Bloodline is awesome. And now, like I said it on videos before, when we get to War Games, and I think it's still going to be a variation of this. It could just be this. I assumed it was going to be Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and maybe a Sami Zayn or someone like that sticking in. But given that what we did in the last 24 hours, if you want to have the Bloodline 2.0 on one side with Drew McIntyre, and on the other side, it actually is a dream team of returning Roman Reigns, who I'm convinced is coming back at SummerSlam. Check my video from yesterday. Randy Orton makes sense. Cody Rhodes makes sense. And then CM Punk, of course, makes sense. And Kevin Owens, because he's right slap bang in the middle of this, then why not? But you could still put a Sami Zayn there if you needed somebody. Again, the Usos are going to have to reunite when Roman does return, which has to be at SummerSlam. It has to be a hot WrestleMania. That has to be what we're going for here. But it was a great end to SmackDown. And right now, the big heel group feel absolutely unstoppable. Like, nobody can do anything. And Paul Heyman is selling them so big. Like, I don't know what to do with these guys. And it was just an evening of surprises. Chelsea Green qualified for the Money in the Bank with a match, you know, with Meechin and Bianca Belair. Everyone had Bianca Belair as the favorite. WWE did their classic finish of, oh, Bianca Belair's hit the KOD, but here's Chelsea Green. But I bought into this and the fans bought into this. Like, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. And I actually quite like that finish, but it can be overdone, but it worked here. And then Carmelo Hayes used the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up to pin Randy Orton. And again, Tama Tonga was in that match. We could have pinned Tama Tonga, but we didn't. So fair play to Carmelo Hayes, who didn't even get an entrance. And I've decided this was WWE trolling us. This was them being like, hee 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 hee. I saw it. There was a reaction on social media. But to get a win over Randy Orton, we should ride that to the bank. Carmelo Hayes should talk about this and talk about this. And it was the same in the Andrade match too. Who was it? It was Andrade versus Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller. I don't think it's a huge surprise that Andrade won that, but putting him in the Money in the Bank I think is a big deal because ever since he's returned to WWE, he's just been a video star. It's like, oh, here's a brand new video. Oh, thanks, Andrade. Are you going to wrestle? No, it doesn't seem that you are. But I mean, I'm probably forgetting someone here. But of course, it means Carmelo Hayes and Andrade are now in the men's Money in the Bank. And that is awesome. I mean, that is great. These are two guys that can really use that as a platform to, well, Andrade can remind the main roster and Carmelo Hayes can show what he can do if you're not familiar with his NXT work. So that ruled. Again, Chelsea Green ruled. T-stuff with Blair Davenport and Bayley because Blair Davenport was like, I'm going to win the Money in the Bank. She probably won't. But I like the fact she's standing up to the champion. That's a good enough way to get people over. And we are still teasing that Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton are going to become a thing because Meechin and Tiffany were having a fight or a shouting fight. And then Nia Jax squished her against another box-like structure. So I'm convinced we're doing that because Nia Jax is going to win at SummerSlam. I think we did that stupid predictions video, that the prediction's way too early. And Tiffany Stratton's going to help her, which I don't mind because it means we're protecting Bayley. And while I'd rather Bayley had a proper feud before she did lose the championship, anything we do to, you know, ensure that Bayley is treated like a top star, I'm perfectly cool with. But I mean, I'm sure there's other things that happen that I'm totally forgetting. But all of this SmackDown just flowed together. And we enhanced storylines. We put storylines that can actually be in pause for a while, but we'll come back round to them as and when does make sense. We're pushing the Money in the Bank hard. We had all the stuff with LA Knight and Logan Paul. Logan Paul knocks him out, so there's your catalyst to get to SummerSlam with LA Knight winning the US title. I think next week too, I could be wrong here. It's LA Knight versus Santos Escobar versus LA Knight. No, versus Logan Paul. To LA Knight, go LA Knight. Now, I think that Santos Escobar should probably win that. There can be some shenanigans. LA Knight can actually take the pin there if Logan Paul does something dastardly. Maybe he uses the brass knucks. That's fine, because we know where we're getting in a couple of months. And I've now decided this ladder ladder match should be for the underutilized guys. And Santos Escobar does kind of fit into that category. Although by that same notion, it means Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews should be in it. It was my only negative of the whole evening. I love the fact they were on last week's show, and I'm sure the plans are figured in. I mean, we didn't really have all of Legado del Fantasma on there either, but given that they had fallen out with Santos, I just think there are two people that can't vanish at the moment because they've vanished too much. And you don't want to remind people that they come and go, they come and go. I think they need a little bit more momentum. So I was a little bit sad. But on SmackDown as good as this, it's hard to get too annoyed about it. And I'm just very excited about the debut of Jacob Fatu. Again, you can go on YouTube and watch some of his clips. Dude is way talented, and he has an aura about him, to use a 2024 word. To the point, if you came in my house right now and said, Simon, do you think he could become a WWE champion? First, it'd be like, who let you in? Don't lock the door, and what happened to manners? But secondly, yeah, there's something about that guy. There really, really is. And if we can get to a Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu match, and Jacob continues on this traction that he's already started on, I was going to hit the table, but I won't. That's always super annoying. But yeah, like really, 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 really good stuff. And I'm excited. And I think maybe the other thing is maybe we need to get to the Bayley, Nia Jax stuff sooner rather than later. Bayley needs a proper program. Like Cody had sort of fallen into that same black hole. He's come out of Clash at the Castle. We've just gone, oh, you're going to be involved in everything. And of course, we've talked Drew and CM Punk. And I love what we're doing with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens right now. I'm pretty sure that, because Randy Orton lost to Gunther as well, let's not forget, he's going to explode soon. And he's going to go super mega heel. And eventually we are going to do the Cody versus Randy Orton match. And if we do that at later part of the year, and maybe the Royal Rumble, and then we move into WrestleMania, it's just getting good. And there was that news too. Is it Indianapolis? I think has bought a package full of WWE PLE. And the Royal Rumble could be February 1st, which it spawned another conversation like, do you care that the Royal Rumble may not be in January? No, not really. I mean, if it was put into June, I may be like, oh, it's a bit funny, and I get over it in about 5 seconds because I have real problems. I'm an awful person. I'm just being honest, though. That's how I feel about it. I mean, I don't really want these things to move around because they tie into the past, and they tie into nostalgia. I think it's good to keep the structure in place that we are used to. But if it's in February, fine. If WrestleMania moves to late April or maybe even May, well, that's not the end of the world either, because sometimes WWE comes out of WrestleMania and they do lose a little bit of steam, which makes all the sense in the world. But yes, excellent SmackDown. If you have some time today, I'll definitely watch it. Again, the clips will be on the internet. Can't wait to see what we do on Raw too, because Nick Aldis addressed that. He was like, ain't no Wyatt 6 getting into my show today. I've tripled security. Now, Adam Pearce should do that. If he doesn't, well, we'll have to wait and see. But I want to see what they're going to do. So, awesome week for pro wrestling as far as I'm concerned. Raw smashed it, Dynamite smashed it, SmackDown smashed it, and I'll make sure to catch up with ratings. Make sure we'll catch up with Collision and Rampage. And NXT was really good as well. Like, the Joe Hendry stuff was awesome, and just Ethan Page being there is great, and Javon Evans, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get too distracted here. But that's it for the weekend. So that means I've just said that. I just got to get more stuff done. Got like 5 videos to do today. You don't need to know that. But before then, like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Hit the bell, ding, ding, so you know when videos are going live. There is a video on the screen. Give it a click. Continue to watch my content if you need a few things to distract you today. Otherwise, it is grillandmind.com/Simon. Use code Simon to get 10% off. I vouch for these fitness supplements. That's the long and the short of it. Patreon.com/Simon316. Simon316 on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. Simon J. Miller on TikTok. Simon Miller on Cameo. Come and get your shout outs today. It'd be my pleasure to shout something out to you when it is your birthday or who knows what. Otherwise, it's ProWrestlingTees.com/Simon Miller for my t-shirts, and SamsonAthletics.co.uk/Simon Miller for my t-shirts over there too. Just wear one. Look, I got a Wizard on the Sky t-shirt on today. It just makes me laugh. I mean, that's a stupid thing. Would you wear it out in public? I don't know. But I do, and it makes me happy. I just answered the door in it, and I could see the delivery person looked at me a bit weird, which was absolutely correct. See you soon.